2024 begins with a bang. We have Mercury stationing direct on the 1st of January, so things can start really moving more forward for us in more clarity, as Jupiter also just stationed direct on the 30th of December. And then on the 20th of January, we have a very, very big day, as that day Mercury goes out of shadow and the Sun and Pluto conjunct and ingress into Aquarius, which officially marks, to me, the age of Aquarius that we are moving into. And this is also a 20-year transit that will completely transform humanity and the world as we know it. And then we also have on the 13th and 14th of February, which is traditionally Valentine's Day time, we have Mars conjuncting Pluto at this 0 degrees of Aquarius. So this is also a time where we can expect more violence in the world and just more ruthlessness in general, criminal activity. But on a personal level, we could expect ourselves to just feel much more empowered. We can feel more that we have more willpower to push through and to push something forward. But it is important to really use temperance with this intensity at that time. And then on April 20th, we have Jupiter and Uranus conjuncting in the sign of Taurus, which is a rare event. I also cover what this has done in the past in my 2024 astrology highlights video. So I will also link that below so you can check it out if you like. But on a world scale, this is a huge, could be a very huge unexpected event. But with Jupiter involved, we would hope that it could be mostly beneficial and liberating in some way. But of course, this possibly has to do with Taurian, Uranian, and Jupiterian themes. So this leads us to agriculture, food, banking, financial currencies, and so forth. And with the ruler of this conjunction in Taurus, Venus, is currently in Aries at the time of this conjunction. And in Aries, she's actually in the Duad that's ruled by Uranus and Saturn, which is an Aquarian Duad, which again leads us back to the Sun and Pluto ingressing into Aquarius on the 20th of January. And that Aquarian digital energy, and Pluto, again, financial, powerful shifts. And with the Sun, with that initial ingress, I feel it really just indicates more, like a leadership kind of legislation. The 11th house, Aquarius, very much deals with legislation in regards to big financial shifts. And then, of course, we have Mars as the dispositor over Venus, the ruler, at the time of the conjunction is in Pisces, where it's more subdued emotional energy. But it moves into its own sign, Aries, on the 30th of April, which is only 10 days after this conjunction, where it can then move forward with action towards plans. And then we also want to look at what is Venus like when Venus is in Aries, as she is the ruler of this conjunction. Venus in Aries is more aggressive to what she desires. She will very impulsively move towards partnerships and alliances, and she can have us be just more aggressive with our social expression. So that can also give you more of an idea of what can be going on at this time. And then in May, we have, at the end of May, the 25th of May, we have Jupiter ingressing into Gemini. So this is very positive, I feel, as it brings a lot of tolerance between us. It strengthens community, our sense of community and compassion. It makes us more broad-minded, and it also brings in much more information and curiosity at this time, and definitely much more communication. And then this year we still have the nodes in Aries and Libra. So we are moving from the partnership dynamic with the South Node in Libra to the more to exploring the more individual dynamic of North Node in Aries, where we're more also aware of our rights and freedoms and what we want to move and initiate moving forward. This is also the axis of me and the other. This is also the axis of peace and war, love and war, which is what we are facing in the world right now, with Mars and Venus ruling the nodes. Now we will also, and actually you can think back at 2004 and up to June of 2006, the nodes would have been in Aries and Libra at that time. So you can think about connections and themes that you may have had at that time as well. Now we will have eclipses in March, April, September, and October. Now, in my opinion, the April eclipse is going to be one to watch. Of course, we have activation 6 months prior and post with eclipses, so it's not necessarily that day, but that's definitely a theme to watch. We also have our first Pisces eclipse in September, as the nodes will shift to Virgo and Pisces in February, I believe, of 2025. And we have a very fire energy this year, as we have all of our retrogrades in fire signs this year. We have Mercury retrograding in Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. And then we have Mars retrograding at the end of the year, December 6th up until February of 2025. And this Leo house has been really a big theme for you in your chart, as we had the Mercury retrograde there in August of 2024. 2023, we had Venus retrograding in Leo. And now we will have Mars retrograding there as well at the end of the year. So the Leo house is going through some transformations, definitely. And we are definitely learning about standing in our autonomy and our sovereignty with all this fire element going on. So this year I really feel like there's very much a theme of blue and red, with the Aquarian emphasis and the fire emphasis, and very much that blue and red pill, making big choices, Jupiter and Gemini, choosing sides, the duality of Gemini as well, and the mental energy of such a strong Aquarius, and then also Jupiter moving into Gemini this year. So there's a lot of passion, there's a lot of decision making, moving forwards with that North Node in Aries, initiating. And this really is a year where we have the courage to pursue our passions with conviction. And we are marking our uniqueness, our unique differences, which strengthens our communities. And it strengthens us in humanity as a whole. And through this strengthening, we allow room for creative innovation, which once again propels us forward and helps us to move upwards, upgrading more, which is also Aquarius. And this is all while we are protecting our individuality in the face of huge earth and cosmic shifts. I would also highly recommend taking good care of your lymph this year, your lymphatic system, your immune system, and also cleansing the blood regularly and detoxing. So I would highly recommend suggesting supportive herbs such as holy basil, turmeric, milk thistle, and cayenne pepper. This is not medical advice. Have a blessed 2024. Welcome, Aries rising. This is your 2024 Astrology Horoscope Potentials. Pluto has been in your 10th house since 2008 of career, life direction, achievements, public image, status, marital title, fame, goals, etc. It can also involve a parent or an authoritative figure. Pluto usually begins by breaking down the area of life it moves through and then rebuilds it transformed and also renewed and aligned, with your truth. You have been passing through Pluto's complete transformation since 2008, searching and finding out more of what your role is in this world, giving more insight into what your goals are, not throwing away your humanity, and staying kind has been important. As you may have been feeling like you've been changing as a person, and there has possibly been a change in life direction or place of living, or dealing with the loss or permanent change of a parent. You are finding yourself maybe at a place of death and rebirth in some way. Now, this has come to a potency point after this 15-year transit of Pluto through this part of your chart, and it's now moving into your 11th house of Aquarius on the 20th of January 2024. It will briefly retrograde later in the year for a very short period back into that last degree of Capricorn, which might make you deal with a final stage of the 15-year transit I was just speaking about. Maybe a person or a parent, or a last goodbye, so to speak, of something in your life, in that area of your life of the 10th house. And then it will permanently shift its focus into this 11th house for you. Now, in 2023, it was here briefly for a few months. You can think back to March, April, May of 2023 to what themes came up for you at that time. In some cases, Pluto here in the 11th house can also be end of life stages or the loss of a parent, receiving an inheritance, your role changing as a parent, your career taking a final or permanent shift. With Pluto in this area for the next 20 years approximately, your peer circle and associations will change completely. Your long-range plans are changing. You see it differently. You may be attracted to people and friends and groups that are more intense, that affect you more deeply, and whom can change you profoundly, or the direction of your life entirely. This can also be dangerous in some cases. Therefore, always trust your intuition. In some cases, this can indicate strong political influence or reform associated with societal reform in some way. This is a long transit of 20 years. Therefore, these topics mentioned can play out over this span of time. And of course, it will affect everyone differently, as every natal chart is unique and interacting with its other variables. Neptune has been in your 12th house of Pisces since 2011 and will be here until 2025. And this is where you've been getting in touch with more of the deeper meanings and side of life. Your intuition is stronger and you may experience more challenges regarding self-sabotage or addictions. This is a time where it can be easy to fall into depressions, or for some, this can be a time where there can be more health issues, also mental health issues popping up. Try not to dwell on the past too much. Purify your body, mind, and soul. Meditate, spend time in prayer, practice yoga, pranayama, and turn your habits into healthy ones that build you up and that don't tear you down. Neptune dissolves and will prompt you to dissolve unhealthy subconscious patterns, people, habits, behaviors, and so forth for your ultimate purification and betterment. Uranus has been in your second house of Taurus since 2018 and will be here until 2026. So you may have experienced quite the ups and downs financially, also with work in general. Uranus here can help you to be more creative with your talents, your ideas towards making money. Your self-worth can be undergoing a transformation as well. It is important to remember that what you earn and own is not a reflection of your worth. Fluctuations with money and work could also have heavily affected your marriage or close relations. Unexpected changes can continue to occur in this area while Uranus is here. Therefore, stay as flexible as possible and have a plan A, B, C. Also, take care of what your intake is. Try not to put all your eggs in one basket. What you eat, drink, and so forth can also come under this area of the chart, especially your thyroid hormones and physically your body as well as your neck and your speech. Positively, you can get genius ideas now regarding earning money or starting a business or changing a business or new investment ideas such as Bitcoin or more futuristic avenues, etc. Now, Saturn has been in your 12th house of Pisces since March of 2023 and will be here until the end of March of 2025. And this will be a period of time where you finish up issues from the last few years, the last karma, so to speak, so that you can start from a clean slate. It's a period of really finishing a very, very long cycle, about 27 to 30 years of change. This can be a time of mourning for some, or hospitalization of yourself or of a parent, or retreating more inward or going away to heal and to process and to see what you have achieved and what you haven't from a place of non-judgment in order to move forward after you have done the healing work, after you've put down the bottle, so to speak, facing the self-sabotage, the conditioned patterns, the past. In some cases, you could be doing much of your work behind the scenes or just more remote, or spend more time alone in serious contemplation. But for many, this is a period of finishing off a cycle of your life and getting prepared for a new beginning, especially in how you approach life. Now, Jupiter will be in your second house as of May 2023. And here you could gain new work opportunities, or you may have already financial blessings. Whatever you value now can grow and expand if you focus. Jupiter brings the opportunity, but you have to take it and do something with it. Avoid overspending or overeating. There's also the chance of foolishly losing large amounts of money if you don't act with wisdom and planning. This can indicate a large purchase or investment. In some cases, this can mean you're going through your possessions, or maybe you inherited some, and you are learning much of yourself and your family and ancestral lines by going through the items. And a deep dive of meaningful soul journeys, going through photographs, spending time in memory lane can also be part of this, or traveling back to a place where these memories are for you. Jupiter will ingress Gemini, your third house, on the 25th of May 2024 for a year, where it will encourage tolerance toward others' views and of others in your daily environment. You can be more broad-minded. Jupiter here can optimize and grow your connections, your opportunities locally, and assist with more positive outlooks and thinking. You may be planning a trip or taking a new course of learning. You could be writing or reading books, or your mind could be more on spiritual topics and bring in more worldview, expanding opportunities. You may meet someone who is a mentor, or you may be one. You may learn a new language or meet people from foreign places, or someone that is quite well off. You may buy a new vehicle or think about buying something quite large or of a large amount. You can benefit now from relatives, friends, siblings, and neighbors, as well as good advice. You could be spending more time planning your vision for the future, making choices and taking training that will help to move you forward towards your dreams. You can make new friends. Maybe you travel with a sibling or a family member or a friend. You may be planning on moving or relocating. You may heal relationships with friends, siblings, or neighbors, or teachers, or reconnect with them in some way because of a death in the family or something like that. There could be something new, like a birth of a child for a sibling. You may communicate better and bigger now than the norm. Blessed connections are possible now, new opportunities. You may find your people with this transit, the ones that actually understand you. You could be speaking to someone far away or date someone online, learn a new technology, but you will be more frank and more upfront. So make sure you don't think or act or drive or speak too impulsively. Stay open-minded. You don't know everything. You might think you do with this transit, and therefore just remind yourself that the more you know, the less you actually know, if you know that you know. And every opportunity in life, every connection, every communication is a moment of present time in which we can learn something. Life seems to just be happier and better and more positive with Jupiter here. So enjoy. Now, on the 20th of April, 2024, Jupiter and Uranus will conjunct in Taurus in your second house. Now, you can listen to my more in-depth discussion on how this may affect the world in both positive and negative possibilities, because there are both possibilities there. If you click on the link in the description box below, you can listen to my 2024 mundane astrology highlights, the forecasting for the collective video, where I cover this more in depth. But for some, this can be a wonderful time for growth or sudden opportunities that enhance freedom and evolution in some way, new discoveries and innovation regarding Taurian and Uranian international themes. And this is happening in your second house of finances, of self-worth, of work, of ancestors, of spouse, how you earn money, the skills and possessions you possess. Now, Mars will ingress your 10th house of Capricorn on the 4th of January, where you can work hard on something you're passionate about, or where you may want to work hard because you identify with what you are putting your energy towards very strongly. Mars here can sometimes indicate an independent project or working on something by yourself or for yourself. There can be more possibility of tension or stress in the workplace, with a boss, or in a group dynamic with Mars here. It can cause more conflict in some cases between coworkers as well as the public. Some can decide now to quit or to just change jobs or positions, or to rather work for themselves, as it can feel as if your efforts are being put down. And with this transit, as well as the energy in your second house, and also the retrogrades taking place in your 5th house this year, there's a strong emphasis on taking work into your own hands in some way. Now, I just wanted to repeat what I said before. So there can be possibilities of tension or stress in the workplace with a boss or in a group dynamic. It can cause more conflict in some cases between coworkers as well as the public. Some can decide now to quit or change jobs or positions or to work for themselves, because it can feel as if your efforts are being put down by others. Emotional instability can appear now, or emotional outbursts, so you can find you're naturally more selfish at this time, or having to think this way, or that you have to be selfish in order to move ahead. It is important now to be more cooperative if possible and to learn from any criticism that you get. You can make huge progress here if you avoid engaging in the opposition, but to rather have it fuel your determination to get the job done well. Rather keep your mouth shut and just get it done. Get the authority on your side. Get the experience. Even if you do that for yourself. For some, Mars here can have you have your work go public in some way or viral, or you may end a partnership or leave a marriage or meet someone new, maybe even while working. Either way, this transit can affect all areas of life. Conflicts versus home and career, partners, and your physical health and approach to life can be affected. This transit will help you to keep busy, but it'll help you to get a lot done. But also remind yourself that you are more accident prone at this time. So think before you do or speak or drive, and take better care of your health. This can also affect a parent in this way. Now Mars will ingress your the sign of Aquarius, which is your 11th house, on the 13th of February, where you may be more actively formulating goals, rethinking them, and you may be actively pursuing them or preparing to do so. Your work is more geared towards the future now. Mars here can sometimes make it harder to work within a group dynamic or team environment, as you're naturally more selfish with this transit, as it kind of continues from where it just was in your workplace. Now it's more in between the teams and the people that you work with. You may have more tension or friction with coworker dynamics and group dynamics, more chance of conflict between friends or groups you belong to. Therefore, working by yourself or more independently in some way can be better if possible. Focus on being more cooperative with others. This can be great for new inventive ideas, for group sport, for changing your political affiliations or ending certain connections or associations. You're acting upon your future now, and your work and connections must have some sort of personal gratification to it, or some kind of connection to your future now. Now Mars will ingress your 12th house of Pisces on the 22nd of March, where you can possibly be working more behind the scenes, or more from a distance, in the background, or maybe remotely in a faraway place. Or you are taking a break from work, changing how you do things, or taking a much needed holiday or retreat somewhere, where you can work on your inner psychology. During Mars's transit here, you can find that your subconscious behaviors can come out in uncomfortable ways, creating strange experiences with people where you communicate in ways that they do not understand, or what you're trying to say or carry over is taken in a completely different way. Or you can just make the wrong impressions much easier, especially if you are impulsive. So this is not a great time to try and make an impression on someone, or to try and apply for a position somewhere. You can have secret enemies with this placement. Gossip and harsh words can be going on at this time. It is important to avoid upsetting situations and people if traveling overseas. So be more careful as you're more accident prone now. And you could also get to do with people that are not so friendly. So avoid traveling, or walking around outside at night by yourself. Self-sabotaging behavior can be brought up now to work on, such as unhealthy sexual obsessions, drugs or alcohol abuse, talking badly about others, etc. This is a great time to go for counseling, to work on something by yourself, to work on yourself, to ask yourself, where am I defeating myself? This is also a great time to channel your pain and work on healing your pain, your emotional turmoil and frustrations regarding home, tradition, and in-laws through helping others, volunteering, focusing on others' pain, and taking care of yourself, bettering yourself, healing your own emotional needs by becoming whole yourself. Now, Mars will ingress your first house of self on the 30th of April. And Mars here puts a focus on your approach and perspective on life and your sense of identity. It can bring an increase in energy, libido, aggressiveness, impulsiveness. It can bring energy fluctuations. In some cases, you can act more selfishly with Mars here, again, or have a short fuse, possibly not as willing to cooperate or compromise much. It would be better, therefore, to rather work alone during this time if you can, or more independently, like I've mentioned. You'll want your own way more, and maybe you'll experience more potential energies that can bring arguments or confrontations, but you will be able to accomplish much now. You're more accident prone, especially in regards to vehicles and head injuries, and more susceptible in inflammation, especially in the body, and general health issues. So your immune system is more penetrable at this time. So it's good to take support like echinacea or oregano oil as an immune support during a time like this. This is not medical advice though, so please do consult your medical practitioner, especially if you're using other medicines, in order to make sure there's no contraindications. So think before you speak, do, or drive. It may also be a good time to check into the condition of your vehicle. Now, Mars will ingress your second house of Taurus on the 9th of June, where you may be taking practical action towards change in the area of your work, how you earn a living, your committed relationships, your past and family, and also possibly your diet. Mars here can have you try out more spicy foods. It can have you eating faster. Therefore, be more cautious regarding choking. You can feel much more busy, also weighing options here. Mars can have you spending more money now or more impulsively, so be cautious. For some, this can indicate buying a home or property. You may be working more on your home now, adding comfort and functionality, cooking more. Some could be thinking of working from home or starting a business or bringing in a new skill of some kind. There can be a higher chance of throat or neck injuries or injuries to the lower teeth, also inflammation, etc. Arguments can arise here regarding income, financial topics, ownership, property, possessions, etc. You could be deciding on when to take action regarding investments and all the topics I just mentioned, buying and selling, and also defending your values. Now, your self-worth and how you identify with what you own will be up for growth. Remember, you're not what you do or own, and your worth cannot be measured by that. It's a great time to cut any negative ancestral influences and transform them from darkness into light, breaking unhealthy patterns. Mars will also ingress your third house of Gemini on the 20th of July, where you can experience emotional ups and downs. Sometimes this can involve family, friends, neighbors, siblings, and so on. You could be more busy doing paperwork, overthinking, or making decisions, taking a new learning course, actively learning more, or teaching, or even dealing with new technology or technological issues. More everyday business with appointments and schedules. You could have more topics like your vehicle condition, your commute to work, and your surrounding neighborhood come up now. There is more possibility for arguments with neighbors, or they may just be working on some kind of construction in your area, or maybe you're helping a neighbor or working on mending that fence between you. Some could be working on a speech or have more activity connected to social media or even arguments there, debates, and so on. Be more cautious driving, as you can be more accident prone now, and impulsive, so think before you speak, as this transit can have you using harsh words due to the more emotional mental stimulation at this time. And after all, Mars is your ruling planet as an Aries rising. So wherever Mars goes, you're very, very personally involved. Your nervous system requires more support during this time. So I highly recommend valerian root tincture or passion flower for this. This is not medical advice, again, so please do consult your medical practitioner. Mars will ingress your 4th house of Cancer on the 4th of September, where you can experience extreme emotional ups and downs. Sometimes this can involve family or a parent. Past subconscious feelings can come up now almost explosively. You can spend time moving or working from or on your home. There can be more fighting at home or a sense of wanting to live alone. It can feel as if someone's trying to block you in some way, or maybe even you are blocking yourself in some way. This is a time where it's easier for you or a parent to get injured at home, so be careful of fires, knives in the kitchen, etc. Try to be more compromising where you can. Avoid being overly bossy and demanding to those around you. There can be more violence and action in your place of birth or your home country or your ancestral roots or location. Mars will ingress your 5th house of Leo on the 3rd of November, where it will also follow in Venus's footsteps of 2023, retrograding here in Leo. Mars will retrograde in Leo here from the 6th of December until January 17th of 2025. Now, Mars in your 5th house can enhance leadership ability, your drive for power and control, and the urge to succeed can increase. You could start a new relationship at this time or be more sexual and romantic now, more expressive. It's good to work on a relationship and try new exciting things to spice it up. If you are in a committed relationship, you may partake in sport of some kind. You could start your own business or move your creative hobbies into more of a serious side hustle. This is also a time where there can be more conflict involving a child or arguments, and also the possibilities of accidents with them. They can be going through hormonal developments at this time or a new phase. It's also more possible to be more nitpicky with children or your own creative work. But you will be much more attentive to detail now and crossing those T's, avoiding being too judgmental, and remind children to be more safe, as they can be more accident prone now as well. Spending more time with your children or around children could be good for you and for them at this time. A child may require more attention or help with more work. In some cases, a child could be starting a job. There is more possibility now for getting pregnant So if you don't want to be more, if you don't want it, be more careful. But there is a strong likelihood that you could meet someone new or have more opportunity to work on your love relationship. So take action and have more fun. Now, let's have a look at the retrogrades. I'm not going to go over the outer planets. I'm only going to focus on the personal planets at this time. Now, Mercury retrogrades are in fire signs this year. So in Sagittarius, Leo, and Aries. And it will also be briefly in Virgo as it retrogrades in Leo. So let's start with Mercury retrograding in your first house of Aries from the 1st to the 25th of April. And this will be from 27 degrees Aries to 15 degrees Aries. Consider reassessing how you engage with the world during this time. Ponder a potential makeover, conduct the necessary research, but postpone any major changes like a significant haircut or a tattoo or something very permanent until after the retrograde period. Take a in-depth gaze in the mirror and prioritize how you feel about your reflection. You might encounter challenges in articulating your thoughts or struggle to communicate as effectively as you desire. Concerns about the impression you're making on others may arise at this time. There's a growing desire to express a facet of your inner self that you may have kept more hidden. And the perception others have of you may not align with how you feel about yourself or your innermost being. Mercury retrograde in this sphere can facilitate a harmonious integration of your internal and external selves, leading to a restoration of your confidence. I'm just going to take a sip of my tea here. And then Mercury will retrograde in your 5th and 6th houses, which is Virgo and Leo, from the 5th to the 28th of August. And this will be from 4 degrees Virgo, Earth, to 21 degrees Leo, Fire. While in your 5th house of Leo, there may be a withdrawal of creative energy. Let the process happen. Your project may need more time to unfold. Loss of confidence may be an underlying reason for some of the creative stalling taking place. Check in with what you're telling yourself about your ability to express yourself. Don't compare yourself to others. Seek out new inspiration. Visit other areas of art that maybe you're not usually involved in, that may bring you some new passion for what you do normally do. Visit a gallery or a theater or a beach, or go outside, spend time in nature. This can be a wonderful time to reconnect with your inner child, to recapture your spontaneity, to be more impulsive and go on your gut, to play games and spend time with children, or, remind yourself of what it's like as a child to look at something, the wonder, the curiosity, ignite that within yourself again. An old flame can appear during this time. Past partners may remind you of how far you've come or how happy or unhappy you feel. Alternatively, this is an excellent time to inject some romance back into a jaded relationship and to play more. Traditionally, this isn't the best time to start a new love affair, while life must go on, of course, because things can change once Mercury turns direct. But as long as you stay wildly curious and unattached, you know, do as you may while protecting your heart. While in your sixth house of Virgo, you can maybe reorganize your work area, your office, your desk. You can try and enhance your efficiency, revise your diary, your calendar, your to-do list. You know, consider adjusting routines to improve your productivity in some way. You know, check your responsibilities with colleagues, your relationship, your connections. Communication mix-ups is much more possible during this time. So try and communicate very directly. Make sure that information was received and understood, and so forth. There can be disruptions of schedules during this time, so it's important to stay flexible. Of course, routines are necessary, they provide structure, but they can also contribute to monotony and predictability. So stay flexible, change things around again to bring some new freshness into that world that you spend so much time in. Regarding health matters, conduct a personal inventory, assess your energy levels, and try and look at as to why certain aches and pains could be there. Instead of just covering the pain, where is it coming from holistically? You know, maybe see a medical astrologer for more insight. Utilize this time for research into your health concerns. Unless urgency demands immediate action, seek a second opinion while Mercury, when Mercury is direct, before initiating treatment. Exercise caution with new eating routines, research food and labels, you know, gather recipes, do research on nutrition, and so forth. Now, Mercury will retrograde in your ninth house of Sagittarius from the 25th of November till the 15th of December 2024. And this will be from 22 degrees Sagittarius to 6 degrees Sagittarius. And this can be a time where you could be re-examining your beliefs and experiences about the world and how you create your experience in the world. It's time to really consider your future, and what you do now and how it affects the outcome, and how how it affects your future, your philosophy on life, and how are you really walking your talk. This house is also connected to morals and ethics, so this can be where you're really reassessing what the truth is for you. So this can be also a good time to redo exams that you may have failed, or to go back into education in some way. It's a good time to revise, to edit work, to rewrite, proofread, and so forth before you publish something. Explore books that you think differently, that will help you to think differently, or that will bring new viewpoints into your mind and help you to expand your view. You may have a sense that you have lost the big picture somewhere along the line. So this is a really good time to visualize where you want to be and how you want to get there, in order for you to then prioritize towards that. You may find yourself needing to revisit a place, or to spend time in church, or you could find you need to travel somewhere. But this would then also be a time to really double check that you don't forget your passport at home. You know, be prepared for delays, canceled flights, and roadblocks. Mercury would like you to see where you are, so you can be clearer about where you'd want to go. And sometimes we just have to stop moving around and to go inward and to put our faith in God. But we'll be contemplating faith and hope during this time. Now, your ruling planet Mars will retrograde in Leo December 6th, 2024 to the 23rd of February, 2025. Mars usually represents energy, drive, and the pursuit of goals. Now, when it goes backward, this dynamic energy turns inward, and people may find themselves doubting their wishes, aspirations, or plans. And this phase invites a re-examination of the direction one is going in, allowing for a more mindful approach to reaching your goals. The backward motion reminds us that slowing down and revising strategies can be as important as moving forward. How do you spend your time, and how much do you actually enjoy your work? Where do you need to have more or less fun? Where do you need to be more creative? Topics involving children can also appear. During Mars retrograde in Leo, our actions become more spontaneous, yet reflective. This period prompts us to utilize our exceptional synthesis skills, enhancing the effectiveness of our endeavors. As a result, we exhibit less passion, but we gain composure and we become more efficient in our actions. Now, earlier this year, in August, Mercury also retrograded in Leo, and Venus did in 2023. What have you learned? Because this is the house that this energy has been in. It deals with creativity, love affairs, romance, children, self-employment, money, politics, gambling, taking risks, self-expression, rights and freedoms, sovereignty, fun, art. What have you learned? Now let's talk eclipses. I'm briefly going to mention them as I'll be going over them more in depth through the year. Same with all the other main conjunctions and main aspects of 2024 I will address as the year unfolds. So this is just briefly covering the energy for you. Now, with the nodes in Aries and Libra, the focus shifts from the partnership dynamic, Libra, to an exploration of individual identity, Aries. And the call is to stand up for our rights without losing our sense of self. To be in partnership without losing yourself. To let go of unhealthy connections, partnerships, associations. To stop saying yes when you want to say no, and do it boldly. To stop over-compromising. The emphasis is on recognizing ourselves first as unique individuals. As Pluto also ingresses into Aquarius, it amplifies our unique differences within the context of humanity. And the North Node in Aries urges us to protect our individuality in the face of these cosmic shifts. And like I mentioned, I will be covering these more in depth as we go through the year. Now, on the 25th of March, there will be a Libra Lunar Eclipse full moon at 5 degrees of Libra, an ending or culmination or fruition of sorts, something coming into its fullness in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships, in love or work, or any one-on-one close relationships. On April 8th, there will be an Aries Solar Eclipse new moon at 19 degrees, a new beginning or seed of intention in your 1st house of self, identity, and approach to life. Then there will be on September 17th a Pisces lunar eclipse full moon at 25 degrees of Pisces. This is the first in the Pisces Virgo axis transition, a closing out, an ending or fullness or completion in your 12th house of endings, of the past, of the subconscious, of self-sabotage and of deep psychological patterning. This area also deals with institutions and faraway places and loss. Then on October 2nd, there will be a Libra Solar Eclipse new moon at 10 degrees. This is again in your 7th house of relationships, partnerships, and dealing with others one-on-one, where there can be a new beginning or seed of intention by letting go of something connected to the lunar eclipse of March in your 7th house. So there's a big emphasis for you in the eclipses in regards to relationships and one-on-ones. Well, thank you for listening, Aries rising. Your associations, friends, and life direction is shifting and meeting new, wider horizons. There's a new, rebalanced you being born, more secure with who you are, standing in your truth as you face and end old self-sabotaging behavior. You are realizing life is short and it's time to take it with a shot of fun. Financial turnarounds and opportunities arise this year. Children take a spotlight this year. Close relationships take a focus. This is the year where you take your life into your own hands with renewed purpose and faith. You can also check out my consultations and offerings on my website, which includes Wild Apothecary. I also have the link to my 2024 Astrology Mundane Highlights video below. May the sun shine bright on you this day. May 2024 be filled with blessings coming your way. Until next time.